take a look at this example 2.5. So starting from your front door of your ranch house, you walk 60 meters due east to your windmill. You then turn around and slowly walk 40 meters west to a bench where you sit and watch the sunrise. It takes you 28 seconds to walk from your house to the windmill and 36 seconds to walk from the windmill to the bench. For the entire trip from your front door to the bench, what are your average velocity and average speed? So we've kind of drawn this out here. So you start at your house, you go 60 meters in 28 seconds to the windmill, and then 40 meters forth, and takes you 36 seconds to get back to the bench and watch the sunrise. Now, the first question they ask us for is V average. So the average velocity, which is a vector, requires us to find the displacement divided by the time. Now for displacement, our delta here is our final position minus our initial position divided by our final time minus our initial time. So in order to do this, I need to put this on a number line or a coordinate system, if you will. And so I'll choose the start as x equals 0. And that would make this point here x equals 60 minus 40. That gives me 20 meters. And this over here would be x equals 60 meters. I'm not going to need this one over here, but I'll still put it on there. And so my final position, doesn't matter what I did along the way for velocity, my final position is 20 minus my initial position, which was 0. It took me a total of, add those two together, you get 64 seconds minus 0. And so we get 20 divided by 64, which comes out to 0.3125 meters per second. Now remember, velocity is a vector, and what are the two parts to a vector? You're right, direction and magnitude. So currently, I have 0.3125. But if I go back and I read the question a little more carefully, it says I walk 60 meters due east. So this direction here is east. Okay, so my positive direction is east. So the fact that this is coming out positive is telling me that this is 0.3125 meters per second east. And so I just need to go ahead and make that connection that this is 0.3125 meters per second east. It's correct when we're doing our math to have the positive, but when we write our final answer, we're going to want to write east on that. Okay, not just add east to this answer, but really translate that positive or that negative sign into a word. All right, so to find the speed, okay, so for finding average speed, I'm just going to write it out. If you want to use speed and velocity, one of the things you'll have to do is just make speed a V, and velocity you'll have to have a V with an arrow over it. I'm just going to write out speed though. Speed is your distance divided by your time. Now, we've already figured out the time, it's 64 seconds, but the distance, this is the total distance traveled. So I went 60 meters and then 40 meters. So we want a grand total of 100 meters during this trip, whereas velocity only cares about where did you start, where did you end. So if I do 100 divided by 64, I get about 1.56 meters per second. Also, because I was going east and then I was going west, I don't have one specific direction. And so as a result, speed doesn't have a direction. So it's just 1.56 meters per second for your average speed. There you go.